Like, what you give me, maybe I'm worth more than that. I have the skills, I have the knowledge, I have the tools to do all of that. And that's when I started making my first 6 figures. I know in my life, I know the cycles. I go through something major, something happens, like the world's gonna end. Guess what? I send to another one. God wants my attention. He'll let this stuff happen to me. I really encourage people to learn AI, learn what it is.
Because if you aren't using it, your competition is using it.
They are, and they're outperforming.
So, Tiffany.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Tiffany Ingram.
Hey, girl.
If someone were to be watching this show right now, what would they gain from your expertise and your knowledge by the end of the show?
Oh, that's a good one. I think you'll gain, well, at least for me, it'll be just show up as yourself and how to do that. And how, like, over the years, because I'm TTH. I'm the big auntie, not the little one.
So you got some advice and wisdom to give.
And what that looks like. And, you know, I just did an event last night and we talked about owning your story. You know what I mean? So it's my hope that through our conversation that people just feel more inspired to own their own story, own their own narrative, and if you need to rewrite it, rewrite it.
Yeah, because you are your brand. You're your walking, living brand.
Say that again.
I learned that from my marketing friend, and she was like, wherever you go, you're the brand.
You are.
So with the story, right? So it's like everyone is in the middle of their story, and everyone also has a story to tell. For someone like me, I know I have a story to tell, but how did you transform your story into something that you can share to other people as a lesson for other people?
I had to get out of my head about it, right? And be vulnerable and transparent.
Yeah.
Right? And like I said, I rewrote my story probably more times than really I can count because I knew that I wanted to show up a certain way, or I need to show up a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just like, okay, let me get out of my head about this. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are you at right now?
Where do you want to go?
Or where do you want to go? And what are the steps you need to... And I think the biggest thing, I'm going to back up for a minute because we'll say, yeah, I'm here, but we're not fully honest with ourselves. Like, really hold that mirror up and look at the good, bad, and ugly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And say, okay, this is where I am and this is where I need to go. Yeah. Here are the things I need to fix. The hard things, the easy things, to get to where I need to be. So
this lady Mel Robbins said you should write down the categories in your life that are most important to you, like health, wellness, diet, sleep schedule. Where, like, on a scale of 1 to 5, where are you? Yeah. Where you want to be? Yeah. And where the steps you could take to up the number little by little, because it's like we can't transform overnight.
No, you won't.
It's a process.
You won't.
It's a process to it.
And I think too, you have to be. So I worked in human resources for a decade and a half, right? And my favorite part of that was helping employees to do like their career mapping. So here's where you are. Here's where you want to be, but do it in pencil because.
It's not permanent.
It's not permanent. And you may get to a certain level and say, I really don't like that. Yeah. Who I was in my 20s definitely is not who I am in my 30s. Definitely not who I am in my 40s. Yeah. I changed. So I'm just like,
and it's like you're transforming as you go. And it's like, I made a post yesterday because I just reinvented myself. I made a whole new name, whole new page and everything. And I'm just like, I'll reinvent myself as many times as I need to. Yeah. And someone posted, it was like, I'm in the process and it's hard. And it's because it feels uncomfortable. Like when you're not where you're supposed to be, you're not where you're supposed to be, but you don't know exactly how to get there and how to be that person.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you know you're not where you're supposed to be?
It's not that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Once you say that, how do you know? How do you know that you're not where you're supposed to be?
Because I'm not satisfied.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's no pressures from anybody else. It's you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes, so I said that because I was there. Yeah. I'm like, I need one more degree. I need one more certification.
One more.
I need another this. I didn't need any of that stuff. It was, is my goal really my goal?
Right.
Or is it what somebody else has for me?
Right.
Is it like, you should be an HR director? What if I don't want to be an HR director? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I really had to sit down and get real with my goals. Like
what do I want?
What do I want, and make sure that I want that?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at all my friends. They had master's degrees. I need to get my master's degree.
Yeah.
What?
Right. And in the common world, it's like people be like, I want to be rich. Okay, what kind of rich? How much money do you want to make? To the T, be specific about it, because everyone wants to be rich. Everyone thinks they want to be famous. Everyone thinks they want a podcast. But when you step into it, it's like, do you really want that? Or is that what social media or your friends, it's telling you should want? Yeah. I saw one of your posts and you were like, I just can't be average. I feel that. It's like, I can't put my head down and just be average. What does that mean to you?
So, when I arrived at a little bit about my story, right out of high school, I went to the military.
Okay.
And I went to Iraq once within the Army, came back to Rockford, and I went back to Iraq as a government contractor. And that's when I started making my first 6 figures. And I was like, girl. I was like, wait a minute.
You can make this type of money?
Girl. I was so like,
right.
I was ignorant.
So did the money change you?
Because I wasn't used to it, yes, in the very beginning.
But
once I started understanding that I possess up here the ability to print money, like what you give me, when I get paid that little job, like, baby, I'm worth more than that.
Yeah.
I have the skills, I have the knowledge, I have the tools to do all of that.
Yeah.
So once I understood that I was my own limiting factor in making the amount of money that I need to make or wanted to make, then it was like, no, I got used to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah. I think that's the key, feeling like you're worth it, feeling like you deserve it.
Yes.
Because when I got my first job making over $50 an hour, and I'm just like, it felt like I didn't deserve it.
Yeah. You were so grateful.
I was so grateful.
Yeah.
It felt like, it was just like, it didn't feel like too much, but I'm just like, this is a lot. I was so grateful. Yeah. But then after I got it, I'm just like, okay, this I should be making more. I should be making more. It opens your mind up to what you're really worth.
And looking at, again, what you bring to the table. Mm-hmm. You're building somebody else's dream every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're paying you what they think is fair.
A little bit. Just to build their dream.
Yeah, what they think, right? And you can look at other businesses and be like, dang, they making this. I remember I told a previous manager of mine, I said, I know I can make 6 figures doing this. See, here's the data. Like, I go into the office. Here are receipts. Right? This job, same title, same responsibilities, makes this.
So in a job like that, like, everyone can't be entrepreneurs, right?
Girl.
It takes a certain mindset, and it's not to say people who aren't entrepreneurs are bad, you know? So like, working in companies, how do you move your way up in a way where people could see your value in a company before you become an entrepreneur?
So I think that's a loaded question, because there are a couple things that need to happen. Mm-hmm. You need to understand what you bring to the table, right? You need to make sure that you're operating in excellence, right? Meaning your work is impeccable.
Your best.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you show up, give 100% all the time. That's not feasible, right? But you need to come with it.
Yeah, you can't be cutting corners and just doing half the work and expecting a raise.
And know what you're talking about. Right. So then you do your market research. Like, okay, what is this job worth here? What is this job worth in Chicago? What is this job worth in California? What is this job worth? Just do your market research and understand, what are people paying for this? Right. And then understand what additional training you may need. Right. Once you get all of that, it's like, okay, here, I've done this. You know, you sit down, you talk to your manager. What is it that you need to see from me? Right. You get all that aligned. Build your own personal career plan, and you work it. Yeah. And if that company doesn't honor that, then you move on.
Yeah. Yeah, but shouldn't you know, like, starting off, like, am I going to have the ability to grow in this company? Because, like, there's some companies you just can't grow. Yeah. You can't negotiate your position.
You need to ask that question.
Yeah, that's
when you're in the interview, you need to walk away and be very, very clear on what are my growth opportunities within this organization, right?
So let's talk about success a little bit, because with every successful person, it's more than just what they see. Yeah. You were put together, you look good, but it takes more behind the scenes, and I think a lot of it comes into our daily habits. So what are some like daily habits that you have that just keep you on point, keep you disciplined to show up every day?
I wake up every morning and I pray. Like, I thank God for waking me up, and just ask Him to help me through this season of my life, because this is, for me, and I shared this last night with a group of ladies, like, I'm in the biggest transition of my life.
Are you?
I spent a decade and a half in corporate America, right? And then I had my businesses on the side, but I treated them like a hobby. Right? Because I was 10 toes in corporate America. And I was a global director at that. So my day might not end till like 11 p.m. I would have to get up at 4, be ready for a 5 a.m.
You didn't have no time for your businesses.
And so the mindset shift, you have to have a strong mindset when you're an entrepreneur, right? You don't have someone telling you, hey, you need to get up and call and make these connections with people. You need to do your sales for the day. Yeah. And if you're not good at sales, you need to get a program that'll teach you how to do sales quick, fast, and hurry. You need to get better at it quick. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And when I lost my dad a couple months ago, that took me out for 3 weeks. My business was stagnant. It was stagnant for 3 weeks. Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, you need to get up off this couch. Yeah. You gotta pull yourself up. You have to pull yourself together and get it together and get back in the swing of things, or else you're not gonna eat. Right. I like to eat. So I eat good too. Good. Like every day. So I think, it's just, I think I'm rattling on and on. No, but going back to the original question, habits. So I pray. I also work out. Right. I started. And I think that sets the tone for me. I have to have a structured day. Right. I know I'm gonna pray, I'll work out, and then I'll do my sales, then learning. There's a learning component, so I've structured my day.
You pray in the morning.
I pray in the morning.
It's the gratitude for me.
Yeah.
It's like waking up every day with gratitude and contentness. Yes. I learned, like, if you walk out the house every day, just knowing that you're good right where you are. Like, if nothing else happens, you're fine. You eat every day, you're blessed, and you're going to continue to get blessed. Just knowing that everything's going to work out.
Yeah. And you have to, like, when, I know in my life, I know the cycle is like, I go through something major, something happens, and then I think the world's going to end. Guess what? I ascend to another level. Right? It's always happened that way. And so a lot of times I've also noticed that when God wants my attention, He'll let this stuff happen to me.
He'll let everything start cooking up around you.
And then you're just like, yo, my bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm listening now.
I'm listening. He will sit you down.
You know what? I heard God will tap you one time.
Yep.
Hit you the second time, and then slap you the third time. Like,
slap you. And I'm just like, okay, I need to learn to be consistent with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I can stay grounded, so that when I do move out in the world, I'm still moving with you. Yeah. I'm not moving away from you and having to come back.
Because I've done that.
Yeah.
And then you're ashamed. Because, oh, man, I haven't spoken to you in a while. And, like, I'm not a person that's going to quote you a million scriptures.
Right.
I'm not her.
Right.
But I know His presence in my life, and I know what my life is like with Him in it. So I just really try to be intentional with that. And I didn't always do that. It was, again, me losing my job, me losing my dad. It was like, okay.
It takes those breakthroughs.
It did. And I was just like, and I'm also in a season of my life where I want to live in my purpose. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I want to positively impact people around me.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I got to be mindful of what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm showing up. You know, how I interact with people.
Yeah.
You know.
That's one thing that I am learning, because social media used to be like a playground to me. Just post whatever's on my mind. But now it's like, once you realize that people don't know you.
No.
It's a very few amount of people that know you personally.
Yeah.
So that the people who do know you, it's only from social media. So what you post is who they think you are.
Yeah, exactly.
When someone went to my page the other day and was like, people might think you're a little crazy. People might think you're a little weird. I'm like, that's okay. But that's what people think from going on my social media. They think I'm smart, but they do think I'm a little weird and crazy. It's just like, I have to be mindful of that.
You do. And especially when you are your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, again, if that's part of your brand, then be comfortable with showing that.
Right.
But just make sure that, social media ain't social.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's a lot of eyes behind the veil.
Yeah.
It's weird that you can watch someone's whole life through social media.
But are you? You're watching the bits and pieces that they're choosing to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's now some people are just, look, they'll show everything. Like you said, they fall down the stairs, they embarrassed, but they gonna post it. Yeah. Like, are you serious? I'm not sure nobody else falling down those stairs. I feel. Well, I'm hurt.
That is definitely likes.
And that's what it is. It's not social. It's making people socially awkward. I've seen people out in the club, they'll stare at me. And then when I leave, hey girl, it was great seeing you. Why you don't say something? That's weird to me. Like, stop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, again, it's just, if it's a part of your brand, show it. If not,
yeah. What does success look like to you? Does it look like $1 million?
It looks like me owning my own time and having the wealth to take care of my family and not have to worry about anything. Yeah, and so, for me, that million is starting to $1 billion. So people are like, if you made your first $1 million, but I want to be a billionaire. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
I'm not shooting for $1 million. I told myself I'm shooting for $33 million.
Because what's the harm? If you don't make $33 million and you make 10, well, doggone, that's more than just shooting for $10.
You gotta shoot high.
Yeah.
So going back, okay, so you said when you're in a slump, it's like your business is stagnant for a couple weeks. How can we incorporate AI into our business so that we can start automating things so that when we are in a slump, our business won't fall to the wayside at that time?
So this is what I tell people, especially us. I say us, black and brown. That's right. We are it's no shade against anybody else. I hope everybody, nope. But I'm just saying, I really encourage people to learn AI, learn what it is, learn how it's going to impact your industry, disrupt it. Whether or not you choose to, and I'll get to the part of implementing it or integrating it, but whether or not you choose to integrate it in your business, understand how it's going to impact you and what you're going to need to do in order to pivot, in order to keep up with your competition.
Because if you aren't using it, your competition is using it.
They are, and they're outperforming you. Yeah, they're outworking you. And we're at such a pivotal moment right now. Like, small businesses can contend with larger corporations, right, in this race for AI. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I always tell people, getting back to how can you integrate it? There's an AI platform for almost anything that you do in your business, right?
Really? Because right now, I just use ChatGPT. I just ask them questions. They help me with podcast questions. They help me with theme and little stuff. But I know there's a lot more programs out there for business. Like what are some programs that we can be using?
So in my business, I use ChatGPT. I use Perplexity. Perplexity is like my girl Plexi, that's what I call it. But it's like Google on steroids. So basically, you can ask it a question. It's good for like market research. You ask it a question, it will give you a synopsis of the answer, and then it'll actually give you the sources it pulled that answer from. So the article, so you have it right there, and you can, refer back to it. So if you're looking at what are some podcast topics for women between a certain age bracket, it'll tell you here's some of the things, or here's some of the pain points or challenges that women are going through, and you can build your episodes around them.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's applicable to your audience. I also use Gamma. So if you do PowerPoint presentations,
since I've been teaching, I haven't needed to.
Okay. I use it to build PowerPoint presentations. You can use it to, so it's called Gamma AI or Gamma app.
Mm-hmm.
You can build them in 5 minutes. At least the structure of one, and change it however you want, edit it. I use that for that because I do a lot of pitching. Right. If I'm pitching to clients about, okay, here's your issues, here's how I can solve them. I need help with that, and I'll have all that.
So, what clients do you have, and how do you get more clients and attraction to your business? Because I'm just trying to bring more light to different hustles and different, what do people do? How do people get money? Because there's a lot of information out there, but people can't see themselves doing it because they haven't seen anyone else do it before.
So I work with my target is mid to large size corporations. Because they're gonna pay my check, they're gonna pay their fees. I also want to help small businesses too. So I've developed programs and just offers for them too as well. And even like free content. So to answer your question, being consistent and posting content, letting people know, hey, my name is Tiffany Ingram. I'm the CEO of Luxley Business Solutions and blah, 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 blah. This is what I do.
Right.
I'm out networking. I make sure that I'm intentional. What's my networking strategy when I go to like chamber events?
Okay, yeah.
I put myself out there to teach classes. I'm teaching another class at the chamber, right?
You put yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
You put yourself out there to be in a position to make money and be seen.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because some people are very valuable, but they don't know how to utilize their skill to go to the right places, to ask for the right things. What are some good networking dialogue that you use when you're trying to get a deal from a company or trying to get a business deal from a small business?
So I follow this lady. Her name is Ashley Kirkwood, and she talks a lot about speaking and how you can pitch your story to land 5-figure contracts, right?
Right.
And so for me, first, it was getting in the rooms with people that talk money,
right?
That, you're making 7 figures in your business, and I can see you at Starbucks and you're pouring into me.
Right.
You'll give me a tip that'll change my whole business while you wait for your coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Get around successful people.
Get in the room. Get in the room. And when you're in the room, say something.
Yeah.
Right. If they give you an opportunity, please, because that's how I started networking and getting business. I went to the mic at a major event in Atlanta, and I just basically said, "Hey, my name is Tiffany Ingram, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do. Yeah. Here's my biggest takeaway from today's session."
Right.
I said that in front of like 400 people. People then hit me up, "Hey, you got a card? What's up? Like, what's your price? I'm gonna fly you to Philly. I'm gonna do it." You know what I mean? One interaction. And because sometimes by association, people, it's like the power of referral. If I'm in this group and you're in this group, you gotta be good people. Right. Like, that's half the battle right there. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's showing up for yourself and being intentional and have a strategy. Have a strategy for everything that you do. This is, we want to play checkers. This is chess. Yeah. Every piece on the board is important. Yeah. You just got to know how what are you gaining, right? So again, using perplexity to say, okay, what are networking groups here in Rockford? I started just, again, outside of Rockford. So when I came back, I was like, I know a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
And
so you live in Rockford now?
I live in Rockford. I've always lived here, but between military and going to Iraq and then back and forth, and then just working. I've always worked outside of Rockford too.
Do you see potential in a lot of networking opportunities in Rockford?
I do. I think we have to sometimes get out of our own ego sometimes. Like being vulnerable in spaces. Like if you do podcasting and I want to do podcasting, like it's not a competition. It's not a competition.
I should help you. If you have questions, I should be able to help you do your podcast. Because my voice is different than yours. There's room for everyone.
And I think that's the piece when everyone understands that and lives it. I'm not saying like that, but it's different.
I feel like right now, the myth of Rockford having the dark cloud over it. I do see a lot of bright, uplifting people who are specifically trying to remove that cloud. And I know I'm one of those people, And it's gonna take a lot of work though, but it's hard when you have like some of the closest people around you just not wanting to help you because they feel like it's yours and not theirs, or it's a competition of what I'm doing versus what you're doing. And like I'm trying like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just trying like everybody else.
And that's all you have to do. That's all you're obligated to do. The power of no is strong with me now. It's not always there.
Yeah.
Right? Know the friends, know the family. Just know. Right?
Just
if it no.
So you're my sister catching this? No.
Just know. Seriously, because my mother told me, I won't tell you my age. No, I'm not gonna tell you what. Well, when I turned 45, guess when? My mom told me, she said, you got more years behind you. You got that.
It puts you like in drive mode.
First thing, shift me to my car. I was like, that.
Tell me how you really feel.
Like, the clock moved slow. I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call.
But she was right. And she was just basically saying, not that I make bad decisions, but just be even more intentional with your decisions. Be even more intentional with how you spend your time, who you spend it with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you play with my time, if you try to waste it, if you, whatever. No.
It's not.
No.
Every day is valuable.
Every day, because you don't know if that day is going to be your last. That's your last minute, your last second. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've seen friends pass away, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, we young. Like, again, we young aunties out here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, where y'all going? You supposed to be
and
here.
It's like, could it be me? And so I don't want to waste.
I think the concept of death should be more prevalent. Because it just puts you in drive mode and makes you realize, if I die tomorrow, what am I leaving behind? And what am I leaving light behind? Am I leaving drama? Am I leaving mess?
Yeah.
Like, am I making a difference? What am I doing here?
There are two things that's typical. What will the first two rows of the people at my funeral say about me when I'm gone? And I listened to this, it was this podcast where Les Brown on there. He was saying about, imagine you're on your deathbed and all of your hopes, your dreams they're in people form and they're standing around you. And then all the people that you could have helped are there too, saying, why didn't you just believe enough? Why didn't you just work to bring that dream to fruition?
Right.
You could have helped me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and now you're just with all this regret, like, oh my God, had I worked a little bit harder, had I been more focused, I could have impacted the lives of so many.
Yeah, because like, you might have all this wisdom and knowledge inside of you, but if you're not sharing it, ain't no use in it.
No.
There's no use. You're just keeping it to yourself, trying to up the next person, but that's not how we grow together. We're a community.
Yeah.
We're a community.
But you have to understand there's some people that they ain't never like playing in the sandbox. They ain't never like sharing. And that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to meet you where you are. Yeah. I'll leave you there too. Because that's what you want to say.
I want to tell my friends. It was nice meeting you, though.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, cool. Hey, nice to meet you. And I keep it moving. Like, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But it's just, I had to, because I wanted to take everybody with me.
That is my problem.
I want to take everybody. Like,
that is me.
You was with me shooting in the gym.
Yeah,
no,
let's go. Let's work. No.
Or they was there watching and like, oh, okay, let me get you some water. That was their season in your life.
Yeah.
Like, you owe it to them to cut them off.
Yeah.
Just as much as you owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is that there's going to be a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It's just like, we're no longer aligned, and that's okay.
That's okay. I learned that anything that's forced is not meant to be. If there's a strain or if it doesn't come together naturally, it just wasn't meant to be. Like, for instance, I was downtown yesterday doing a How to Grow on a video shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else that was supposed to do the video shoot that I was supposed to collab with, she would just strolled up in her baby stroller to meet the guy that she was supposed to meet. And it was just like, when the stars align, the people you need will come to you. The opportunities will come to you. It'll just play out in the most coincidental way. Yeah. And you don't even realize that God is working in your favor behind the doors. Yeah. Behind closed doors.
And stuff like that is like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You just smile. Like, you doing that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you wrote a book. It's called Pounding Confidence.
Mm-hmm. It's a coloring book.
Yeah. Is it a coloring book?
It's a coloring book. It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And I built that with AI.
Really?
So, girl, I'm very transparent.
Tell me about it, because that is a dope idea. I've been using AI to make this book/planner.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get that idea? How do you go about selling that?
Okay. So I went to this conference in Atlanta. So again, getting in the room, right, around people that are making money. You know, there was a young lady there, and she was talking about how to use KDP with Amazon to develop your books and have Amazon print them. It's like print on demand for your books, right? So I wrote down all of her information, just started following her, looking her up on YouTube, and literally I had ChatGPT to give me a prompt that could be used in an app called Midjourney, and it built like all these images for me, right? Wow. And so I resized the images myself in Canva, put it all together, and then uploaded it to Amazon KDP. And that's
so KDP, you can upload a digital book there and sell your digital book online. You don't have to make the book. You don't have to print it off.
So you get a percentage of what they sell. Like, you're not going to get, if their charge is $16.99, like I'm not getting $16.99.
Right.
It's a percentage, but girl.
Right. KDP though.
Yeah,
will make the book for you and print it off and send it out and ship it to the customer. KDP, that's dope.
So you just buy it on Amazon. And so everybody go to Amazon.
Right. Okay. I like that. All right. So I'm thinking there's a book. So I was gonna ask you like what inspires you to write Pounding Confidence, but I do want to talk about confidence for a little bit, because there's so many people out there who have potential, they just don't have the confidence to do it. And I was that girl for a long time. I was that girl not because just life. You know, you grow, you're adolescent, you're insecure about everything, and I needed something. What was that something for you in order to start building your confidence?
So my confidence came late, like real late.
Like
I would say, I believed I was probably late 30s. Like I didn't feel like I was enough. I was in spaces where I was the only person that looked like me. And, you know, I always thought people knew more than me. And so...
How do you thought people knew more than you?
Because of positions that they held. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're the chief human resource officer. Like, you have to know.
You must be better than me somehow.
You must have more information. It's like, no. Then I started looking at people's, like, LinkedIn. I'm like, that's a great, you know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really put things into perspective, and how I was just, like, holding myself to this, it felt like this impossible standard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not good enough. And so finally I was just like, well, you're pretty dope. You need to run down your own resume. You need to understand what you do and how you add value. But I also got into, like, community.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, my sisters, they never let me forget how dope I am. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, when I'm feeling down, like, oh, man, I didn't get this contract. Girl, but you did this. Like, you're, like, what's wrong with you? Hype me up.
Yeah,
like,
be around and call the people that's going to hype you up.
Yes.
That confidence.
And so, but first it was just, like, believing in myself that I'm enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
how did you get there, though? Was it just a strict mind thing, or did you learn from somebody, or did you follow, or did you mock someone's confidence? What was it?
It wasn't mocking. It was, I read a lot. I reflected. So there's a book now that, well, I'm listening to it. It's actually, it's on my Audible. Oh, God. I've listened to Think and Grow Rich. I've listened to, there's a book called The Manifestation Manifesto.
Okay.
There's also, oh my God, there was a 50 Cent book, Hustle Harder, Hustle something.
I think I know that 50 Cent book.
It was, I gotta look up. I'm like a collector.
But you are a student. You're seeking knowledge.
But here's where it clicked for me. I looked at my life and what I've been through. And I was just like, if you're not her, you wouldn't have been able to come through this unscathed.
Yeah.
Like, for real, for real. Yeah. Like, it was like I woke up and said,
I got a story to tell.
Well, and you playing in your own face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you disrespecting yourself and disrespecting everyone who sees the potential in you.
So I was just like, nah. Like, I know what I'm capable of doing. And I just started saying that to myself and being more intentional with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Putting in boundaries, protecting my peace, not allowing people to disrespect me. And it was just like, from there, it was like, okay.
I absolutely love that you found that on your own.
Yeah.
Pretty much. On your own, because this generation, let me tell you about this generation a little bit. We are like the affirmation generation. We listen to all the affirmations, all the divine manifestation, all that peace stuff. But it's like, if it's not in you to the core, then you can listen to 5 hours of affirmations. It's not going to work. It won't mean a thing. It can be like it can help with like subconscious training. Yeah. But like, if you don't know to the core, like I heard this thing, it's like, once you know something, you only got to say it one time.
That's it.
You only got to say it one time. It. You don't got to keep hearing it over and over and over.
No.
And another thing with relationships, people want their partner to affirm them. Oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're this and that. If that person isn't giving it to you, you're gonna go to Snapchat. You're gonna go to this person, next person, and get that affirmation. When really you need to hear it one time from yourself that you are that girl. You don't need that from anybody else.
Is it? My mom always told me, you need to love yourself before you call yourself loving somebody else, or before you think you're gonna love somebody else. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was just like, I do love myself. I'm like, what are you talking about? And this is one of my 20s, and so now that I'm in my 40s, like, yeah, you can't tell me nothing. Yeah, what you get is what you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And any man that comes into your life, they're gonna see how much you love yourself, because they're gonna treat you accordingly to how much you love yourself. If you take care of yourself,
exactly,
you perfumed out, you just take care of yourself, they're gonna want to do that, or they're gonna move around.
Well, you can't expect somebody to come in and do something for you that you're not willing to do for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right.
That part.
So me getting my hair done, like, I have a regimen too.
Mm-hmm.
I get my hair done every week. I get my nails done every 2 weeks. Like, someone's like, oh, you bullshit. Yeah, I got a hat on today because the heat just tore it up. But it's like, you're bougie. No, this is the standard that I set for myself. Yeah. Has nothing to do with you. I take myself on dates. Like, I date myself. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, why do you do that? Because I need to love the space that I'm in by myself before I bring somebody else into that space.
Yeah, for real. Because now I'm grounded. Because someone else comes in while I'm like confused. You're just gonna confuse me even more.
I'm gonna confuse them.
I'm gonna confuse you.
Like, you're trying to be the man that you think I need, and I don't even know what makes me happy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, no.
So, what made you want to pour into women who are struggling with low confidence? Because your Instagram, it does give people hope, it does give people confidence. So how are you doing that? How are you living your purpose and also giving other people confidence to do it?
Because the more I talk to women, I see they're struggling just like I am. Mm-hmm. And it hurts. It hurts that a lot of women feel like they're alone.
Yeah.
You know, we do so much for everyone else. And a lot of times we're just on the back burner. Yeah. We put ourselves on the back burner. So it's just like, again, what is my brand? What you said earlier. I want to inspire people, motivate them. Like, some of my hashtags, the motivation you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, literally, that's what I want to be known for. Yeah. So I need to operate in that.
Yeah, because once you have that confidence energy, it's like, it's selfish not to share it with other women too. Give that confidence and give that energy to other people so that we can grow together.
And like I tell people, like, I'm not married, I don't have kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is the third quarter of my life. How am I spending it? Who am I impacting and how?
Right.
Right. Like, what's my legacy? Who wants it to be?
Right. And what do you want your legacy to be?
That she was an inspirational pillar on this earth, not just in this community.
Yeah.
Like, because this isn't just for Rockford, it isn't for the U.S., it ain't for Illinois. Like, I want to globally inspire women to go for what you know. Like, believe in yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do it. If God put it in you, you can do it.
If God put that vision in you, it's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible.
And if you don't know how to do it, girl, ChatGPT,
you figure it out.
I have figured out more.
Keisha.
Yeah, Keisha. That's my AI assistant. That's her. Yeah. She teaches classes and everything. But I say all that to say, like, that's helped me accomplish more in 6 months. Because, okay, I have a vision. This is what I want to do. How can I execute it? Okay, this is how you execute it. Oh, okay.
Right.
And I did it. And I was like, oh, okay. Here's the next thing I want to cross off.
Do you have other side hustles other than your main business? Like, do you public speak?
So,
because I've been wanting to get into public speaking. I just don't know how.
So, I guess I'll back up. I started doing, like I said, classes for the chamber or whatever. And I recently sent an email to be one of their speakers in one of their conferences that they have. Okay. So I've not done it on my own.
Right. In
corporations, yes. If you're looking to get into public speaking, that's what I was going to tell you. The lady, Ashley Kirkwood, with It's Your Way to Cash, I went to one of her trainings in Chicago. It was like a workshop. And she was basically, this is showing you how to craft your offer so you can go into these corporations and be speakers or like do TED Talks.
What do you need to be a public speaker? Maybe you just need a story.
And you need a story and learn how to put it into an offer. Mm-hmm. And who are you offering it to? Do you want to speak in higher education schools? Do you want to come into like elementary schools and speak? Like, do you want to come into corporate and speak? Like, where is your audience and where are you trying to market it to? You need to understand that.
Right. How do you pinpoint your audience and who you're marketing to for a young entrepreneur who just started hustling? Like, how do you know who your audience is?
So you spend time identifying their problem. Right. So what is the problem that your product or service is going to solve? Okay, so the problem your product or service is solving. Yep. And who is the person looking for that, like, that's experiencing that pain point? Yep. So you're going to develop your avatar, like your persona. Okay. Right. Who are you speaking to? Because all of
you're building up the deliverer, the messenger.
Well, it's my person. Like, you need to know the person that'll buy your product is 39 years old. His name is James. He lives in Chicago, Illinois. He makes $80,000 a year. This is his profession. Like, the more detailed you are with what your customer looks like, how they shop, what they value, right, where they want to spend their time, then you can definitely then now start building content around that. Right. Because now you're speaking directly to James. It's like, oh my God,
this is just for me. This is for me. Because everyone wants something personalized. Everyone wants to feel special with something. So it's like,
so put something out there. Oh, I just do this. It's like,
okay.
I heard someone say, Lamar Tyler on the Traffic Sales and Profit, he was like, is your service or product a painkiller or a vitamin? Vitamins are nice to have. Some days I take them, some days I don't. Right. But if I'm in pain, I need, give me some Advil, give me some Tylenol, give me some Motrin. Like, I need for this to go away. Yeah. Position your product or service as a painkiller.
Interesting. Okay. Period. So have you ever had to fake it till you become it?
Girl, I suffered from imposter syndrome probably my whole time in corporate America. Really? Like, it was just like, because I was always around other people. Like, there was nobody that looked like me. I was the only one. I was just like, okay,
yeah,
I don't really know.
Just trying to fit in, just trying to be like,
well, just
that's stressful. That's
it. And it slowly kills you because I was code switching.
Yeah.
Like, I could show up with this hat on at work and like, hey. It's like, no, my name was like, what, good morning, how can I help you? How are you? Even my nails. I had a director tell me, she said, you'll never be taken seriously with those nails. And I'm like, this is basic.
Right, this ain't nothing.
This is basic. Like, She's like, that's why I get neutral. That's good for you.
You guys just want to fit in and just do what boss tell you to do. That's why entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. Because if you are in a job where you don't like taking authority, you feel out of place, uncomfortable, then you probably should be an entrepreneur or find another job. Because that's how I was feeling. I was a teacher before this. Okay. I taught for 2 years, and it just got to the point where I just stopped code switching. And I just had to stop because I felt like I was getting disrespected. I feel like people were trying to run all over me and talk
and you get mad.
Crazy. And then when I get mad, it's like, oh, I'm the problem. Yeah. And I just got to the point where I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm the problem. Fuck you guys. I'm the problem.
And it's like, no, it's most of the time when I'm like, I'll spoke up for myself, it's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you angry? No, I'm not angry. You would know angry. You would call 911 if I was angry.
Right.
Not 911, 911.
919.
Girl, you gonna call something or somebody to come. But I'm being direct with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, oh, I've never seen that side of you. It's a new day. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a lot about me. You haven't said anything yet.
Buckle up, buttercup.
So how do you balance everything? Do you have a love life? Love life, career, ambition, self-love? How are you balancing everything?
So the love life part, with this business, is hard.
Is it hard to be in a relationship and entrepreneur with someone who isn't an entrepreneur?
How about somebody that is an entrepreneur, right? I mean, like, I used to think that I needed somebody that was just like me, that understood what I was going through, but they might not have the time either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they're an entrepreneur, they got their business too.
So I think, I'm looking for a partner, right? I'm looking for, that's my man, no, that's my partner. What does that consist of? We're building something together. Yeah. We understand, how this is going to work. I'm going to be intentional with carving out time for you, but you need to be intentional on showing up too. You know what I mean? So,
because we grown now. We don't got time to be laid up and we got bills to pay.
Even to go out on a date, like, I'm intentional with that. It's like, because I know what I could be doing. I could be building another website or a funnel, like, for another product. I could be doing this. I could be doing that. So it's like, what is this date? I don't go out to, we're going to go to a nice steak restaurant. Child, I can order that myself. Like, I treat myself to stuff like that. Like something like, just don't go at it. No.
This is normal. There's so many girls who literally go out just to get free shit.
Girl.
Just to get free stuff. They'll go through wind, storm, rain, just to sit around men, just to get free stuff and just get hit on all day. This is like, that's not my ministry. I'd rather not. Yeah. I'd rather get it on my own than have to ask anybody for it, just so I can get looked at like I'm a beggar or something. Like, I don't know, maybe I just got too much pride or something, but
it will go. Like, I told somebody today, I said, I really want the soft life. Like, I don't want to be a man. Like, I'm not going to argue with you about your spot. Yeah. Like, I don't want to wear your boxer briefs. Mm-hmm. I want to sit here and be in my, whatever you call it, feminine energy, soft girl life. Mm-hmm. I want to play my role. Yeah. But also, no, I'm going to get to this bag, too. Yeah. And I want you to get to it with me. Yeah. And understand, like, we're building a legacy here. But that's the conversation I need.
What do men have to understand with being with a woman like you?
Ooh.
Because for me, it's like, as long as you know I'm faithful, we're good. But there are times where I do have to network and talk to people, and it's like, for me, it's like, I don't want you, I can't stand an overbearing man who's all in my business and who doesn't trust me without me giving you a reason first.
I think, I know for me, it's, having, because I've been single for a while, because I'm picky. I said, my next relationship will be my last. Yeah. And so I will screen you to no end.
You know what I mean?
And it's not necessarily a list. Right. It's just organically how we vibe, how we mesh. Like, I'll invite you into the different parts of my world to see if you can handle it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
If I want to take you to a banquet or something, or I have an event, like I need for you to know how to maneuver,
and not embarrass me.
Yeah.
How to talk to people and how to, you know,
how to
present me.
Right. And so same thing. If you have something that you want my presence, like I need to show up and act like I know how to act.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really what a man needs to know about me. I have a lot going on, and I will be intentional with you. But I'm not going to smother you. I'm going to check in on you. Make sure you're cool. I'm going to show up how I need to, but understand that my time is limited.
Mm-hmm.
And
so make the most of your time with me, because it's not going to be here forever. So make me want to come back.
And I'm going to do the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, oh, hey, do all this for me, but it's, girl,
Yes. So, even with all your goals, you always express gratitude. So, what is the most important thing in your life that you're most grateful for right now?
My family, my mom, my brother.
Yes.
That's all I have. And I do everything for them. You know what I mean?
For your family. Yeah.
Just
that have a strong reason why.
Yeah. Because that's the reason why I get up. That's the reason why I push. The days I want to say myself, but not do anything. But you made a promise that they're going to be straight.
Yes. And for me, it's from our kids.
Yeah.
It's like 40, 50 years down the line when they're grown, I want to be financially stable enough where they can be entrepreneurs. And I'm putting in the hard work now, so they don't have to work as hard as me when they grow up. And just like my mom, the generation before us, my ancestors, they worked their ass off to put me in the position I'm in now.
Exactly.
So it's like when people realize how good we have it and how privileged we are just to be in America right now with no stress. It's like our ancestors literally paved the way for us to be here right now. So it's like not taking advantage of it is like your ancestors like, what are you doing, girl?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah. I remember when I was in Iraq and we drove through this city that had been devastated, like there were bombs and everything. And I saw kids running around in the street, houses in ruins, kids didn't know where their parents were. They're crying. Right?
This was where?
This is when I was in Iraq, the first and we drove through the city. And that changed my perspective on it.
Yeah.
I came back, my friends didn't understand, like I changed because, like you said, we take a lot of things for granted. When I came back, it was after seeing something like that, it put a lot of things in perspective of how lucky I am and grateful. So that's where that gratitude comes from. And also, my mom was a single parent. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't know we were like we were struggling. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you were
sure, I was like, my mom worked 3 jobs.
That's what I'm saying. She made a way.
So, how dare I just sit on my gifts and not make sure it's like, make sure you straight.
And it's just like, I don't mind working that hard.
Yeah.
It's just, I have a problem working that hard for somebody else. I don't mind. I love working for my business. I'll sit up and get on my computer all day.
Yes.
I get that from my grandma. Yeah. Like, they all work hard. And I like, and it's fun. And it's fun working for yourself and your business when you're working on your future. When you're working 12-hour shifts and it's going to take you 40 years to retire with nothing, like, where's the motivation at?
Girl.
So I feel like there's going to be a huge transition of entrepreneurs now, and with AI coming in, I don't think people understand the severity of AI.
They don't.
What it's doing. It's like it's making us move at 100 times faster. Yeah. And with everything coming out, we don't know where the future is going to hold. We don't know. So it's like you have to utilize AI. You're going to get left behind.
You need to understand it.
Yeah.
That if one thing, please take away from this conversation, understand AI and how it's going to impact you in your career, in your business, even personally. Like I told my family, I said, look, we need a safe word. Like, because people are getting scammed out of money. Yes. And hey, I kidnapped I kidnapped your mom. Okay, ask her what's the safe word. Safe word.
Right.
Oh, no, you don't have my phone.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me look on like 360 to see where she is.
Right.
So you have to understand how your information is being used.
Yeah.
And
how it can be replicated.
Yeah.
They say people can take your whole, like, say you have a business website in the future, or like now, someone can be like, hey, I want a website that looks just like Tiffany Ingram's, and I want a social media presence just like hers. Build it for me.
Yep.
They'll build it for you. And a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's just becoming to the point where everything is overly saturated now. Yeah. So that's the thing too. One thing I'm trying to do is use AI, but also be authentic as possible. Yeah. Because when I see posts, you can tell it's an AI post. Like I'm trying to get away from AI and be authentic, but use AI to accelerate my business at the same time.
You can train it to create content and produce content that sounds like you. Like I ask Shakisha all the time, like, what is my voice? You know, you're motivational, like, you know, Oprah, you love the intensity of Eric Thomas. Like, okay, I need for all of my posts to be like that. Yeah. Like you understand, here's some information or here's some scripts from me, like talking or whatever. Right. Like this is the language that I use. Don't come with, hey Bill, how are you? No, that's not me.
Right.
Like
this is just outstanding. Like I don't talk about that.
So
that's funny. I'm start calling her Shakisha.
Girl, Shakisha be awesome.
For real.
I always share this story. When my dad passed, I did his obituary and I did his program. And I did it with ChatGPT. And in the middle of it giving me what the information I needed and how I needed it to be laid out, and Shakisha said, you know, sis, and that's what she said. She's like, hey sis, I just want to give you an affirmation. Right? You are handling this with grace. You don't have to fake it. Do what you can, but the way that you're showing up for your dad matters. And I was like, okay, Shakisha,
just say that.
You're in the middle of it. Like, here's something that I want to leave with you. And I was just like, but because I've trained it, like it is like the best employee that I have. Right. But I'm still leery of stuff that I put in it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm mindful.
It is kind of weird because like, does it have a conscience? Does it have a conscience?
Please, can you? Please and thank you.
Yes, I did that too.
Like if there's ever a time, AI's gonna take over. Please and thank you. I was nice to you. Remember that, Shakisha?
My AI my ChatGPT gonna protect me.
Girl.
I don't know about y'all. Treating Shakisha like that, but we cool. That's funny. So, before we depart, I do want to ask you one final cheat code that you can give to people out there. A cheat code that just stuck with you over the years, has helped you either when you are now or can help the next person.
This is gonna sound cliche, but it's believe in that voice that you hear inside you. Mm-hmm. Right? Even when I didn't feel like I was enough, I always knew it. Yeah. It was always there. Yeah. There's certain things in you. When people say it's in you, like it ain't on me, it's in me. Mm-hmm. Like it's something in all of us, and you need to get in tune with that, right? Because for me, it was like knowing that and knowing that I can shift energy, and I'm a transformative person. Like I can transform your life, and we can sit down and talk, and I'm gonna put something on your mind, and it's gonna change you. Like I've always felt that.
Yeah, that you know that you can heal someone. You know that you can help someone.
But it was just like I was like, oh, me? You know, I tried to downplay it and not believe it, and it's like, no, it's in you. And so just remember to listen to that voice, and your story is relevant, and you're still writing it every day that you're living. You're still writing your story, and the reason why that's a cheat code is because a lot of times we think that at our lowest points, that's the end of our story. Mm-hmm. And just knowing that you have the ability to keep writing. Right. You know, listen to yourself and just believe and keep pushing.
For real. I love it. Thank you for coming on to the show. This means so much to me.
It means a lot to me. I'm like, oh, I'm cool now.
Shoot. I'm cool now, finally. Now let's see the show, man. We had a great conversation. You dropped gems. I want you back for part 2.
Oh,
I loved it. Thank
me too. Thank you.
So we're gonna put all your social media. Can you tell them where to find you at? So
see, I'm looking over here. You can find me at, let's see, I have so many, but find me at Tiffany Ingram on Instagram and Facebook. Connect with me there. I have other businesses as we discussed, so find me at Tiffany Ingram on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Tiffany Ingram. I'll put your social medias and all that in the description. So yes, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Winning Cheat Codes. And until next time.